It's the book of John, chapter 8, and verse 44, and it reads, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there was no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." Before I go any further, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, which is the Paleo-Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the original Hebrew known of in Israel today as the dead language, as they no longer speak this dialect of Hebrew, for the one true name of the Heavenly Father being Yahweh, whom the world ignorantly calls God, or Allah, which, there are many titles they use for him, yet he has one name, man. Alright, both those words, God and Allah, have the same meaning, being power. So his name is not power. You see, that's just a title, Salakia. I'd like to give, and then before I go further, that was also the Hebrew for the correct pronunciation of the Messiah, our mediator, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, though the letter J wasn't derived until the 16th century. Alright, so it clearly couldn't have been that name either. As it is written, there's no other name given among men whereby ye must be saved, point blank period, pursuant to Acts chapter 4 verse 12. Alright, so the elect will find the proper names and not take them in vain, man. Vain meaning like they don't matter, right? Like they're, like the way that people use them when they call them whatever they want. Alright, the elect will take those names very seriously, man. And before I go any further, I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere peace, love, blessing, salutation unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there, doing the best to make the calling of your election sure. Lord willing, this to edify, man. And as you see the verse that we just started off at, right, John 8 and 44, ye are of your father the devil, man. Alright, and why is it mentioning he was a murderer from the beginning? What crime is this speaking of? That's speaking of the crime between Cain and Abel, man. Alright, it's speaking of the original devil being Cain. You see? He was a murderer from the beginning, man. And the father of lies. Right? And that's the same spirit that's on these Edomites today, man. Alright, as we know, going back to the story of Jacob and Esau, and how Jacob got the blessing and Esau sought to kill Jacob since then, man. Alright, and the promises that were given to them and what would befall upon their children. But my point is, in this lesson, man, that, well, in fact, we'll go ahead and grab another precept to get that point, which would be going to the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, not to be confused with Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 2, and it reads, "The judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of a man the ruler of a city is, such are all they that dwell therein." Yeah, so that just goes to show you, man, that the ruler, basically that mentality and vibration that he puts out there falls upon his inhabitants, man, falls upon his subjects, falls upon the people. And this ruler of this world, pursuant to the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24, and pursuant to the blessings and prophecies that I was mentioning earlier, right, this devil, Esau, Edom, the Caucasoid, Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof, right? So the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, man. And what has he done? He's taught the world to chase after his belly. He's taught the world to kill each other, man, to stab each other in the back. Just as we read, right? The murderer from the beginning, man. The physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, being the so-called white man who has been given this rule going all the way back since the since the time of the Grecians, man, which is all prophesied, spoken of in the book of Daniel, right? We can go ahead and grab a quick piece of it. It says, he covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? So, hey, he's covered the faces of the true judges, man. It's been replaced by a fiat judge, somebody who doesn't belong in that judging seat. And what has he done? He's polluted the judgment, man. People are not, the cases are not judged properly out here, man. All right, they've built up the Heavenly Father created the creation and gave us a list of do's and don'ts, how to conduct ourselves and how to judge matters on this earth. And what has he done? He's thrown that to the side and replaced it with his own weird way of judging, man. And great evils have been multiplied upon the earth, pursuing a prophecy that we will grab here shortly after I grab this prophecy, going to the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, and verse 3, it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Right? So the man of sin. The day shall not come, being what? The day of the Lord, until that man is revealed. And now he's being revealed, man. This is also part of prophecy, that we'd realize who the wicked was. Verse 4, it says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." So this is basically his MO, man. He's trying to replace the Lord. You see, Christian prophecy told us that this is going to be the spiritual demon Satan. Who the hell is going to worship the spiritual demon Satan, man? Maybe a group of weirdos or something, but the whole world ain't going to, man. According to prophecy, this guy has the world in his hand, man. You see? And the reason for it is because he's deceived them. Right? Verse 5, it says, "Remember ye not, when I was with you yet, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed at his time." Right? So there was going to be a time to come that he'd be revealed. And we're living in those times because he's being revealed now. Again, and back in the day, Christian prophecy taught us it was the spiritual demon Satan. They just tried to cast the wool over your eyes and point at this guy, man. But guess what? Hey, it's actually he who presented himself as white, innocent, and pure, which in reality is red and the goddamn physical counterpart of Satan, man. Verse 6, it says, "And now you know," it's locking, verse 7, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work." So it's a mystery, man. It was a mystery to us for a long time. And now that mystery is being revealed, right? It says, "He that now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." And then, and he's going to be taken out of the way. It says, "And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy him with the brightness of his coming." And he's already being consumed by the spirit of his mouth. By what? There's truth coming out, man. The spirit being put within particular men to speak on these things and reveal them. Verse 9, it says, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan." So he's not actually Satan, man. His coming is after the working of Satan, and he's really become your God, man. To a lot of these people. So like, not your God, but he's become a God to a lot of these people, man. Most of the people, the majority of the world, have begun to have this man as their God, right? Which fulfills what he wants in this chapter, man. And also expounds upon what we read out of the book of Hebrews. Right? "Ye are of your father the devil." He's become their father, man. They do his lust. They have learned that their God is their belly. And in turn, they're worshiping this devil, man. You see, your God is your belly. What you chase after, whatever, to fill your belly, man. You give a damn who it affects. "Even his whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders." So he has all power, signs, and lying wonders, which the book of Revelation expounds upon, right? And how he has this science in his pocket. He has the power to cause thermonuclear destruction to take place, which also goes hand in hand with this pseudoscience that he has. which, you don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with science. All it is the study of the creation, right? But what happens is this devil goes around and he goes to a point where he tries to go too deep, man. First thing they tell you when you go into any type of theory is that this is a theory, man. Even electricity, for example. You turn on a light switch and the light turns on, that should be enough for you. But they'll tell you when you go in there, hey, this is a theory, because when they try to go into the explanation of it, they don't know what the hell they're talking about when they get to a certain point, man. All right, they're basically trying to mimic the Most High. They're trying to take His creation and make it theirs. Oh, look, we could do this, we could do that. It's the same thing as Moses versus the damn Pharaoh's magicians, man. These guys are the magicians, trying to prove to the Lord that they got some type of power. You see? But let's go ahead and grab that Daniel real quick. This is Daniel chapter 8, and we'll just grab a verse to prove the prophecy of these Grecians coming into power, and then we'll go ahead and get into it, man. Daniel chapter 8, and I'll just get down to the main point. Verse 21. It says, "And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king." Let's go ahead and back up a verse. Verse 20. "The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia." Right? So those two were what? The kings of Media and Persia. Then what came next? The Grecians, man. The Grecians came after that. So once these Grecians came into power, right, it goes on to continue to tell you how basically it's going to stay in these people's hands. And it stays in their hands, though the Grecians were overthrown. They were overthrown by who, man? They were overthrown by the Romans. And then, who are also Edomites. And then, as the book of Revelation tells us, the beast was wounded and yet healed. So even though they were overthrown by him, hey, they even though Salakia, the Romans were overthrown, the beast, that Roman beast, was wounded, that dragon. But it was healed, man. It was healed by what? Coming back into power and fruition. Really beginning with the British, right? The bottomless pit, as prophecy tells us. But it will come full-fledged in this American kingdom, man. All right, this is that kingdom today. And this is the same people, man. These same wicked people, the father of lies, who have taught you to worship and chase after your belly, man. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and grab these next verses, all right, to prove that point.